Yeah, I think that's a pretty good TV roundup.
Cool, I agree. Should we do films?
Sick. Yeah, so I think let's talk about... Do you want to do bottom 5 of the year and then go to top 5?
Yeah, let's do that.
What's in your bottom 5 for the year?
Well, should I start with one that I think we both got?
Mm.
Well, it's actually... So my bottom 5 is actually includes Five Nights at Freddy's, The Creator and The Killer, which we've done full episodes on, so I'm not going to do them. I'm just going to ignore them and do the others. So, shall I start with You People?
Oh, yeah, let's start with You People.
Now, I didn't detest it like other people. I think I gave it, like, how many stars did I give it? Probably not very many. Maybe 2. But I thought I saw some charm in it. I laughed a couple of times. I don't think it was abysmal, but it was pretty... It wasn't great, was it?
I gave it 1 star. Yeah, so I kind of get the thought behind it, that it's kind of like a culture clash scenario with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy being the leads, and Jonah Hill is kind of meeting his partner's family.
Yeah.
Is that right? I hated it so much that I really can't remember what happened.
I mean, it was near the start of the year, wasn't it? I think it was one of the absolute first films I watched of the year, so I don't remember it in huge amount of detail.
But yeah, it tries...
The main conflict is there's like his girlfriend's father is a black man who doesn't trust white people or like non-black people really at all. And he is set out to like humiliate him in any way possible. He doesn't like Jonah Hill's character, doesn't think he's right for his daughter, and it's sort of their conflict is the main conflict. And them being like, well, maybe as a couple we don't work because our two worlds are so different.
So I mean, like, fine, interesting premise, I guess. Interesting as anything else, but just not funny. Not funny. No. Doesn't kind of say what it needs to say enough. It's just not anything. It's just so boring.
Very forgettable. And you know the kiss at the end, like they didn't kiss in real life. It's like CGI.
Is it?
They like were like near each other, and then they cut them out, put them close in, and then they like CGI moved their lips so it looked like they were kissing.
Why?
And they have like CGI like confetti in front, so it quite often goes in front of their mouth, so you can't really tell. I think because they either didn't get along very well, or they like had like no chemistry is the reason. The two actors. And I just can't remember who the lady was.
Lauren London.
Yeah, they had no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was You People. I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah. I mean, us thinking about it is more thought than the creators put into it. So.
Yeah.
Great.
It's already just left my brain, really, to be honest.
Don't even waste your time. It's not funny. It's not even bad funny. It's just nothing.
Right. What have you got another one you really didn't like?
Antman 3 made me very sad.
I didn't mind it.
Really?
I think I had problems with it, but my whole time in the cinema, I was like watching it entertained.
I gave it 1.5.
I thought I think I gave it like 3.5 or something. Like I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was really much worse than the others. There was stuff that got my goat a little bit.
I mean, I get that it was a big COVID film, and you can see it's like exclusively all blue screen.
It's all shot on a green screen.
Yeah. So
most of the characters are CGI.
And what happens? They all get there's a MacGuffin that they turn on by accident, and they all get sucked into the quantum realm. And in the quantum realm,
there's yet another like teenage genius scientist in the MCU who invents.
Just because she was in the comics, presumably, and then they're sucked in and they meet Kang. And
I wasn't
MODOK
big
is
into
there.
the casting of Cassie, like aged up. I kind of feel like they almost could have just kept the original actress. I mean, I know it's like 5 years in the future, but there's been a bit of time passed.
Definitely.
And now this year she was in Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, which I haven't had a chance to see yet. I'd like to, but she looks like kind of old enough. She probably could have done this.
Yeah. So the biggest issue I have, Ant-Man is not interesting when he's doing world-ending stuff. Ant-Man should be a small character. Ha ha ha.
He's a silly
man. Yeah. He should be doing silly things.
Because the previous 2 were like pretty low scale, like heist movies.
As they should be.
Second one is like about trying to just rescue someone from the quantum realm. The appeal of the Ant-Man films is little things going big and big things going small. Like, and then that's why I quite enjoy the second one, because you got some like funny little moments of that.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see from it. When it's all just in a CGI landscape, it doesn't matter if he's big or he's small. There's no objects going big and small.
You could have had them still on Earth, maybe because Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas don't do anything in this.
They do more than the Wasp does.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's because she was cancelled.
Considering it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's because she's an anti-vaxxer. But like, she literally did nothing. Like, she was a secondary character within the like C plot.
Yeah. So you could have still been on Earth, and Michael Douglas could have gone, I don't like how you're Ant-Man in, so I'm being Ant-Man now. and then have two Ant-Mans.
Yeah.
Or you could have, there's an Ant-Man from the comics called the Irredeemable Ant-Man, and he steals a suit, and he's just a horrible man, and he could learn a lesson about being a good Ant-Man. Something like that, that's just a nice
I mean, I do
story.
like how they kept setting up the quantum realm, and then the finale of the trilogy, like, pays off and you get to see it properly. I just thought a lot of it was kind of not as weird as I was hoping.
It's ugly.
It was quite weird. I
like
liked the blob who wanted holes. That was cool.
the blob. They like whatever, like literally whatever.
David Desmalchian voiced him, I think.
It's
I don't know. I was pretty into it. I'll probably watch it again at some point.
not funny, too long.
I thought it was fine.
Why was Bill Murray in it?
The odd joke I laughed at. Yeah, I agree with that. He didn't need to be there. Kang was a very strange villain for it.
Yes.
But I guess he was just a Kang variant, and
So that's the
he
thing,
was
right?
pretty threatening.
So Ant-Man,
and it's a shame how now that's going nowhere.
yeah, he gets big and small. What right does he have fighting at the time the next big bad of the story and winning? Because he kills Kang at the end. Like, what is going on there?
Yeah. I mean, it's a Kang variant, so I guess you're like, well, this guy was really tough, but then there's going to be an even tougher version of him in the future. That's why it annoys me so much how they're just like, it seems like they're just abandoning Kang now. Like,
oh yeah, he's been arrested.
He's a multiversal guy. You literally just get anyone else in.
So we saw Kang in Loki. He was the one, He Who Remains or something like that, and he was killed by Sylvie and said, just wait, there's going to be the Conqueror. He's going to come along and he's going to destroy everything. And this Kang is introduced as Kang the Conqueror. So it then makes sense that he's being trapped there by all these other Kangs because he is the one who's going to come and just kill them all and destroy everyone.
I don't think he necessarily was killed at the end, though. I think it was implied that he might have just been sent somewhere else.
But what a pussy. He got beaten by Antman, who has
by Antman.
He has no powers. He doesn't get big or small at the end. He just punches him. That's it.
He should have won, really. I mean, I guess
he should have
won. A depressing end to a trilogy if Ant-Man doesn't win. But he should have just escaped. And Ant-Man's family survived. They got out of the quantum realm. That was their victory.
What if they got stuck in the quantum realm?
He's escaped.
And he escaped.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Because
they've already done all the rescuing. No, because then you do a future thing where you rescue him, and we've done that.
Nah, I think it's
give him a happy ever after.
So boring.
Ant-Man's a silly character. You have to give him a happy ever after. It's not interesting if you trap him there.
Don't put him in this scenario.
Yeah, the film was fine. It was just another post-Endgame forgettable MCU film.
Do you say spaghettable?
No, I said forgettable.
I thought you said spaghettable, and I like that.
That was Loki series 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just wound me up to no end, and I didn't like the Ant-Man films anyway. I think they were boring, and mostly because
I thought
Edgar Wright's Ant-Man would have been unbelievable, and they didn't do it.
That is frustrating. We were so close to getting like what would have been a substantially better film, and it was literally just a case of Kevin Feige wants all the films to be the same.
Yeah.
So a director with a vision.
No, thank you.
Can't last.
Get Peyton Reed in. Great.
A man with no directorial vision whatsoever. Well, whatever. Let's move on to another film. No One Will Save You. Now this one actually has decent reviews. I thought it was really boring. Have you seen it?
Is this the Disney alien one where no one speaks?
That's the film.
I haven't seen it, so you'll have to tell me what happens.
So there's a young woman who lives in a house on her own. I think people don't like her. I can't remember. Honestly, it was just so forgettable for me. But you're like, something clearly bad has happened in her past. You don't know what. And then an alien who looks like Paul comes to her house, tries to abduct her, and the whole film is just chasing her around rooms of her house. And she locks the door, and then he sometimes gets in. She runs to another room. Hides from Paul again, and then it's just that, and then at the end she says like one line. It's just like a log line, like alien invasion film, but or just a film, but there's no lines, no dialogue. And it's like, well, fantastic, but that has been done before between the 1800s and the 1940s, so it's not really
What
new.
is the line? Is that relevant?
I think she says like, I'm sorry, something like that.
I'm reading the Letterboxd reviews now, and a lot of them are saying pull in the mental health card to get out of being probed. Things like that. Is that relevant? What happens there?
She just tried. Well, I think she accidentally killed her sister or something like that.
Oh, okay.
See, I can't remember how, which is weird because I didn't even watch it very long ago.
by probing her.
I literally just forgot.
Probed her sister too hard.
Oh, it was in a forest or something. I can't fucking remember. It was a boring film. The alien looked rubbish. He looked like Paul. It was terrible. Don't watch it. Don't know why people love it so much.
I
Nothing
will
happens.
not watch it. Next on my list, Strays.
I didn't watch it because I saw the trailer and I was
Oh,
like, nope.
God, I can't remember if I watched it with Caitlin or I watched it with Mum. Did we see Strays?
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that.
So imagine Cats and Dogs or like Air Bud. So this is probably how they sold it. Imagine Air Bud, but they're sweary and they're Jamie Foxx and Will Ferrell. And the studio exec's gone, that's a win. Wow, they're big names and they're very funny, but they're actually not.
R-rated comedies are sort of big now, I guess.
It's not interesting. It has the plot of like a kids' Cats and Dogs film.
Yeah.
Where Will Ferrell's dog.
Fuck you, and I'm gonna bite his dick off.
Yeah, Will Ferrell's dog gets dropped off by his owner, and then he meets this pack of ragtag dogs to go back to Will Ferrell's owner so they can bite his cock off.
I feel like the sort of like target
and that's
audience, even though they can't say that's who it's for. It's like Sausage Party, where it's like it doesn't really appeal to adults. It's the sort of film that kids watch.
Yeah.
Which are like they shouldn't be watching because it's like for above their age, but like kids would love it. It's a bit rude, but it's the sort of thing they would watch and sleep over and enjoy.
It's hilarious. Look, the dog says balls or something.
But like an adult
the dogs are talking about having
seen other
sex.
films like this is dreadful.
There's a scene where they eat mushrooms and get high. Like that's how thin of a plot it has.
I've got another one I want to talk about, which I don't know your views on because I don't know if you've seen it, but I think maybe you'd like it more than I did, which is Peter Pan and Wendy, David Lowery's new film. I really didn't connect with it.
I love David Lowery. I love The Green Knight. I love A Ghost Story.
Yeah, same.
Haven't seen it though.
Okay, so I won't talk too much about it then. But basically, I really like the Peter Pan story. I like the original Disney film. I think it's just a good, very simple story, but it's made for kids. It needs to have like magic in it. It needs to be fun and watchable. And yeah, there's lots of the characters do have a lot of like good, deep backstory and like tragic histories and a lot of interesting stuff you can play with which a proper director like David Lowery can explore. But it's also a kids film, and the film is fucking boring, and there's no magic to it. Everything is like this sickly, like green, like it's sort of like vomit green, like piss yellow, like bogey sort of coloured aesthetic. Neverland just looks like some British cliffside, which I guess kind of works because if you're imagining this whole thing as like an imaginary thing, it's all in their heads, it's a dream, then I guess that's kind of could be interesting if it was like maybe somewhere they went on holiday, because that's what I was thinking, like okay, so this is like a kid's perspective. It's to them it's wonderful, but it's because it's in their imagination, but it looks normal. Same with like there's like a building in Neverland where I'm like, wait, this looks the same layout as their house, and then I was like, no, but it isn't quite the same. So if it was like the same exact layout and it was like, oh, this is like a dream, I can see the artistic merit to it. But there isn't that. It's just bland and like John and Michael, the other kids, don't do anything. It's just Peter and Wendy are the only character, and Hook are the only characters with like anything to do. Tiger Lily doesn't need to be there. None of that stuff needs to be there. Mermaids don't need to be there. It's just it's not got enough to it. I didn't enjoy it.
It was straight to streaming, wasn't it?
It was on Disney Plus, yeah. And I was looking forward to it because obviously live action Disney remakes are all shit, because they're just shot remakes. I thought David Lowery, great director, doing my favourite Disney film. Yeah, just didn't. I like how Disney let him do something different, but I don't think that was the direction I would have taken a Peter Pan film. There was stuff I liked, but yeah, I didn't like any of the performances. I mean, the Ever Anderson, who plays Wendy, couldn't do it.
Jude Law Hook?
Yeah. He was rubbish.
Yeah. Was he?
Wendy couldn't do an English accent. She was American. You can tell. And Hook was just he didn't have charisma because the film is like meant to be like a naturalistic sort of thing. It's not like a fun fantasy like over the top thing. Like Hook is just bland. Peter can't act his way out of a paper bag. He's got no like. I think the only thing you need for an actor playing Peter Pan is like they need to be the most charismatic motherfucker you've ever seen, and he just is nothing. So yeah. There's no more to say about this film. I didn't really like it, but maybe you.
Yeah, maybe I won't watch it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just watch The Green Knight instead, which sounds like that, but good.
The Green Knight's fantastic. It feels like The Green Knight, where you have like all different weird fantasy stuff going on, but it's like more serious and dark.
Yeah.
Cool. But they didn't have weird fantasy stuff going on. It was just weird and dark. Yeah. But yeah, what have we got next? My letterbox is frozen.
Yeah, I mean, I think just some honourable mentions really for shit films this year.
I've got my number one still.
Oh, go on.
Fool's Paradise. Charlie Day's
Oh,
film.
I haven't seen it because I heard it was so bad.
I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Love Charlie Day. I was so excited for his directorial debut. I thought he's written it all too. He plays the lead. I thought, great. He's a great comic actor, great comic writer, great. I have full faith in his direction. Fool's Paradise is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. So Charlie Day doesn't have any lines. Well, he kind of does because he plays two characters. But joint lead with him is, what's his name? Chang from Community. Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong, yeah.
Absolutely unbearable in this film. Like, he's so like annoying, never makes me laugh once. I can't stand the man. He's so hard to watch, and the film is like tonally all over the place. Like, it's really silly at times, well, most of the time. There's a couple of bits where he does some good, like, Charlie Chaplin-esque, like, slapstick comedy, and that's it. It's just one of these films where it's just like watching, like, nothing of this is good, nothing worthy of credit, not one crew member's done a good job. Absolutely dire from start to finish.
Is it so bad that it's funny, or
No,
is it not that?
Nope, it's just hard to watch. Maybe some people could, like, sort of point and laugh at it, but honestly I don't think it is, because it's not like talented actors who are just, it must be partly the direction, because it's these really great actors. I think John Malkovich is in it too. They're just, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And Glenn Howerton's in a couple of scenes, and I remember in the Always Sunny podcast, like, them talking about, like, oh, it's so funny what you're doing is, like, hilarious. I was like, well, obviously Glenn Howerton is always fantastic, and he was like, what the hell is this? This is just cringe. It's not even funny at all.
I've seen someone
What do you
talk
want?
about it as like a Freddy Got Fingered kind of deal.
Well, so Freddie Got Fingered is kind of like self-aware. It's like he was a big name, and so they said, like, make a film, and he deliberately made a film that was like so out there.
Yeah, there's not any like jerking off a horse cock in this, is there?
No. It
Doesn't go to that level.
It doesn't do anything outrageous at all. It's really like,
Oh, so it's just
classic.
really bland.
It's
That's
really bland.
That's dead.
Yeah, there's just nothing to it, and all the jokes.
For
are
me,
rubbish.
it sounds like you were the fool watching this.
I was not in paradise. I was in hell.
Matthew Vivian in Fool's Hell. A couple of honourable mentions for worst films of the year. Shazam 2.
I thought
Boring.
it was fine. It was like the same with Antman. It was like, entertain me. I think I liked Shazam 2 a little bit more. But it was, forgettable. I liked the first one. Saw the second one. I was like, it was fine. But
Glad that it's done. I like the character of Shazam. Do not like Zachary Levi. So
I
rest
don't
in
like him
peace.
as a person, but I think Shazam's quite good. It's just the two of them. It's just Billy and what's it called? Yeah, is it Billy? His real name, Billy Batson? Is that his
Billy
friend?
Batson.
Yeah.
Yes.
So him and, like, Shazam, both the actors playing him are doing totally different things. And I saw David F.
Yeah.
Sandberg, who is the director, and every film he does, he leaves like a letterbox review, and it's always the top rated one. And his one for this film is like, Billy Batson and Shazam act like totally different characters. I wish someone would tell the director. And it's like, okay, so then, and I know you're like joking about it, but do something about it. It's your job.
You're literally the director.
It's your job. People were saying that in the first film, and it's even more the case in the second one. I guess they kind of fixed it by putting Billy in basically no scenes and just having Zachary Levi play the character for almost the entire thing. But it's so weird.
And something notable about this film is it's a nomination for Gal Gadot Cameo Award. So this is one of the nominees, as well as The Flash, which was also a huge, just kind of dumpster fire, as the Americans call it. But at least that was kind of a bit funny. You could laugh at that.
I was entertained by The Flash, I would say.
I thought the first act was okay. The rest,
like, some of it was because I thought it was decent, and some of it was because it was like a sort of Cats-esque. I can't take my eyes off this. Because I really enjoy Cats. Like, I've seen it loads of times. Like, and I it's like The Room. Like, I find it so entertaining to watch, and not necessarily for the way the filmmaker intended. But I disagree with the like concept of so bad it's good. I feel like it's good, but not for the reason they intended when they made it. Yeah. So I thought The Flash was fine. I always had a smile on my face.
But that had a Gal Gadot cameo in as well.
It did,
so that's the second nominee.
Both cameos were just, he arrives and people say, wow, she's hot, and then she does nothing else.
And then she goes.
Yeah.
And the final nominee, which I think is a good bridge between our bottom five and our top five. I don't think there was five, but our top films. Fast X, which also had a Gal Gadot cameo at the end.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good bridge.
Good for her. Fast X was my penultimate, or my second from bottom film this year.
It was my sixth favourite film of 2023. I love Fast and Furious. I personally feel like people don't understand the Fast and Furious movies. Any review I see, I'm like, you just don't get it. And I know
I'm
that's
not
like
Galaxy Brain.
I know that's the thing people say, but it's not even. It's just they're parodies. They're meant to be stupid. People. So like in the last one, I won't say what happens in this one, but in the last film they go to space, and that's obviously ludicrous. And Tyrese Gibson.
You mean like the actor?
Yeah. So quick-witted, I came up with that on the fly. But obviously the first movie is just about like stealing DVD players and street racing, and then they go to space in the ninth film. Crazy. But that's hilarious, and they just exist to be the stupidest thing you've ever seen. It's so much fun, and stuff where you'd never see that in real life because it's not possible. Giving your eyes a look into the impossible, if anyone was indestructible, and if luck was just turned up to 100, and people just watch the movies and they was like, oh, it's just stupid. And it's like, that's the point! And people are like, oh,
okay.
I don't think people get that they're comedies. Okay. They're comedies. They're parodies.
Can
and they're
I
comedies.
counterpoint you?
Yeah.
I completely agree, right?
Yeah.
That you should not take them seriously. Don't take them from face value.
No.
You know exactly what they are going in. However, the fact that it is an ego project for Vin Diesel, and he makes so much money off of them, and he cannot see what they are.
No, he
and
can.
is such a twat.
No, he knows what they are.
I don't think so at all.
100%
The fact
believe
that
he knows
all the
exactly
drama
what they are.
around this.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
him
drama.
hating on Jason Momoa.
Oh, and
when Jason Momoa he understood what he was in, but Vin Diesel was like, "No, you're making a mockery of this. It's like high art."
Oh well, I mean,
I'm like,
had
I'm
that
not,
with The
I'm
Rock.
not paying into
The
it.
Rock left because Vin Diesel was just horrible to him on set of the sixth one.
Yeah,
or whichever one was his. No, it wasn't the sixth one. Eighth one, I think, because the characters have fallen out, and so he wanted to make sure he was like was angry towards him, and then it just made Vin Diesel hate The Rock hate him for real, and then they have hated each other ever since. Yeah, so he does take it seriously, but I can see that. I mean, he's basically running the franchise now. It's like Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible. It's like he's a massive dickhead about it, but I can see why he would be being so invested in it.
However,
Why
Mission Impossible films are good. It's like
I just
The
find
Room,
Fast and Furious films so much fun. I love almost all of them. Some of them suck, but most of them.
It's like if this was The Room 10 and Tommy Wiseau was like the Vin Diesel-esque figure, and he's now in on the joke. And
But
he's
I don't think it's the same.
I understand what this is now. I need to make it like absurd and funny.
No,
so you're kind of missing the point and going too far over the point.
No, but
I just think
Furious,
I'm just not.
But Fast
I'm
and
off the
Furious
ride.
1 was good, and also Vin Diesel didn't get involved in it until like sort of about the fifth one.
You look at him, every project he's involved in, he wants a franchise that's going to make him more powerful and make him more money. Like, that's why he fought so hard to get Riddick back. That's why he had that Witch Hunter thing.
Yeah.
That's why he's got Fast X. He wants this big franchise. And I'm like, what do you think you're doing? You're not a good actor. You're a horrible person.
It does. I have to block out the fact that I know that every actor hates each other. Most of them are despicable. I have to just ignore that, because I think of them as characters. I never think of like Vin Diesel as Vin Diesel. I only see him as Dominic Toretto. I love Dominic Toretto. I love it when he goes, family. I don't got friends. I got family. I love that. And
That's really good.
And I love, like, in this one, like, when there's a bomb, there's a big ball rolling down the streets, and they're like driving, they're trying to outrun it, and then he drives off the bridge into a crane, knocks it round, the weight from the back of the crane knocks it into the river, it explodes, and he like outdrives the explosion. I was like I was like, yes, this is amazing. This is the best shit I've ever seen in my life. I love all that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love just like action, like you're a kid with like toys, like I just, you know, it's something you'd never see in other films, because action films take themselves too seriously now. I love silly action. That's why RRR was my favourite film of last year, was it? Like,
yeah, last year.
I hate how I don't like a sort of John Wick type film, or like Captain America: The Winter Soldier is one of my least favourite MCU films, because it takes itself so seriously. I'm like, if it's a silly concept, do it in a silly way. So I love Flash Gordon. I just see Fast and Furious as like Flash Gordon. They're insane, crazy characters. And like, he says shit like in the 9th one, that where they're like, so what, we just drive a car in space? And he goes like, that's exactly what we're gonna do. And it's like,
yeah,
love that.
No, not for me.
Love it.
No,
it's
and
just a parody.
Whenever I see him now,
piece. Brilliant.
I see him now, and all I can see is Eric Andre when he was fat and bald, and I just
Yeah.
can't get over it.
No, he is like that. No, but I think it's funnier how I think it gets funnier and funnier how he gets older and fatter and less in shape.
Yeah,
But he's acting like still like the
I
biggest
just
badass in the room.
I'm done. Like Fast X, they're like, this is the last one, but actually no, there's actually one more. But no, there's actually we're going to split into two more because it's like The Godfather. I'm like, just
Well,
fuck off, Vin
I
Diesel.
just I
You've like
I
you've,
just
you've
want him
had
to
enough.
keep doing it for all eternity. To be completely honest, I'll watch one every year until the day I die.